Hey guys, welcome to the video. We're going to be talking about some stuff with The Witcher 4 with the Unreal Engine 5 tech demo. There was an Unreal event yesterday. This was a highlight of the event. Let me tell you, people have been talking about this like crazy. Give you guys my reaction on this so we can discuss it ourselves. Wub wub wub. A rub-a-dub-dub. State of Unreal. Technical presentation, not actual gameplay. Okay. That's important. When they say technical presentation, not actual gameplay, when people come back to this footage, 7 months after the game's out, like, hey, remember when that video came out and they said it was going to look like that? We're doing comparison screenshots now, and they're no longer the same. They're different. They did that with Witcher 3, man. That's why I'm laughing. Like the E3 presentation versus the final thing. You know, I'm not even sure if if Witcher 3 was Unreal. I thought it was their homegrown engine, but this might be something new. Oh, that's gonna catch on fire. Ooh, violence warning. In all likelihood, I am gonna play this, even though I thought Witcher 3 was boring. I know, controversial take. I thought Witcher 3 was boring, and I tried to play it 4 times. I just couldn't. People were like, Bwana, you got to get past the beginning. You gotta get past the fluff. I'm like, dude, the fluff is strong. Fluff is really strong, you know. The lighting looks pretty good. You can see the lighting coming off his face from the fire. It doesn't look, I don't know. It looks realistic if you can have such a thing in such a scenario. You can definitely see, yeah, you can definitely see some nice reflection there. Okay, these shadows are really nice. And you can see his eyes. One's bloodshot red and the other one isn't. A lot of details here that are good. Now that dude looks like beauty. Look at that. That's a face only a mother could hate. Oh, that guy ain't alive no more. Toss a coin to your Witcher. Siri. I guess this is sometime later. Ooh. Yo. Jackpot.
Almost had me fooled, Fruin.
Fooled? What do you mean? That walking animation looked a little weird. Whoa! Hold up. That... Sheesh! Now that's a desktop. That's impressive. That's actually very, very impressive. Oh my goodness. That's gonna be the thumbnail right there. That's gonna be me going right next to that. Watch. Those of you watching the video, you can like comment down below and say, hey, Bwana, remember you said you were gonna do that, the react thumbnail? So that's, and then, yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
First things first, I'm here with Sebastian and Kitek from CD Projekt Red. We have a lot to talk about. Hey guys.
Hey. Thank you, Wyatt. Thank you, Wyatt, and hello, everyone. With The Witcher 4, we're stepping things up. And to do that, we needed the right partner. One that truly understands that great open world games are all about art.
It's making my computer chug a little bit.
Yeah, and look, our goals are completely aligned here. And around the launch of UE5, your awesome team at CD Projekt Red announced a collaboration to make open world development in Unreal even better. And it's an opportunity, we just couldn't pass it up. So we've been working on a technical demo together to achieve just that. I think we should take a look at it. You guys ready?
Born ready. Kitech is going to play the build for us.
Sure, let's do it.
Sure, let's do it. Go, do it. Look at that canvas, man. That's crazy.
This is a technological showcase set in the world of The Witcher 4.
They
What you
stopped
just
there for a
saw
reason.
And are going to see now is running on a standard PlayStation 5 at 60 FPS with ray tracing.
I'll believe it when I see it.
So in the game, you'll be playing as Ciri, a professional monster slayer, a witcher. She explores the world and hunts down monsters for coin. The region we are in is called Kovir, and you'll get to explore it in a game. Right now, Ciri is investigating a monster, and after gathering clues, she's
I'm impressed with the frame rate and everything. There's a lot going on and no hitching or any kind of jitteriness or stuff. I know this is like a really, really tightly controlled, canned tech demo presentation, dog and pony. I used to do these all the time in my corporate job and stuff. It's really, it is curated and clipped, and everything should be perfect, which means it's not going to reflect reality.
heading back to a nearby village.
But I am impressed with the frame rate. It's definitely,
All right, everyone, meet Kelpie.
quote unquote, smooth.
Let weeds be weeds, Kelpie.
So just like Geralt and Roach, Ciri has her own loyal companion.
A roach is a better horse name.
We return to town.
These two characters need to feel like one. Since you're gonna explore the world on horseback, riding needs to feel seamless, natural, and just
You
fun.
see a little,
Yeah.
you can see the horse breathing, and the cold air coming out of his mouth. That's actually pretty
and
cool.
to support
You
that,
notice
we're
that? Look at that.
introducing multi-character motion matching in
A lot of
Unreal.
little details to notice
So
here.
Ciri and Kelpie, they're perfectly synchronized when mounting from any angle and speed. And we also support root motion movement on Kelpie, so controlling her feels realistic and grounded.
Kind of hard to tell by looking at.
And there are also some really nice improvements to our Unreal Chaos Flesh Solver and these machine-learned deformations. So you've got realistic muscles moving and stretching under Kelpie's skin without compromising the performance there.
That's impressive, but when I'm playing, I'm not going to be saying, man, those horse muscles look amazing. Maybe I will. I don't know.
So let's leave Ciri behind for a second and talk about the world itself.
That's
So
crazy.
much of
That's
the
what's gonna
world
impress me.
is natural, organic, especially Kovir with its dense forest and wild nature.
Yeah, and wild nature is hard. And with nanite geometry, we've freed artists from so many of their old constraints.
Did he say nanite geometry?
But we don't want to rest until everything we do in Unreal has that same spirit of freedom. There's always more work to do. And foliage is a huge piece of that puzzle.
Yeah, foliage
we're
is
excited
crazy.
to introduce-
I've been playing a lot of Gray Zone Warfare, and that game is chock full of foliage, and it is definitely a performance challenge. I mean, when the first version of it came out, people couldn't play it because they had 2080 cards, 3080 cards. I had the 3080, and I could barely get 60. I was like 40 frames because of all the shrubbery and the foliage and nature, as he called it. So that's definitely a challenge.
Use nanite foliage.
Nanite foliage.
And in order to achieve gorgeous foliage density everywhere, while still being memory efficient, fast to render, we believe that a new idea was needed. So instead of the same card approach we've been using for the past 20 years, artists should be free to take a nanite approach to foliage, modeling every single leaf and pine needle. And the old LOD tricks of the past, they needed a complete rethink. And in their place, it's a new adaptive voxel representation in nanite.
Minecraft has returned, and my camera has froze. And we're back. Camera froze on me. Sorry about that.
It's volumetric.
But nanites, man, we are back. I mean, we are in voxels. So this tree is broken down into voxels, tiny little squares, as you probably know from Minecraft, where you can build massive things. And when they say nanite voxels or nanite voxels, it makes me think about EverQuest Next. EverQuest Next, you guys may remember that title. They were touting this tech as well. They were saying that they were going to make very, very tiny voxel-based architecture, so everything, mostly everything, pretty much everything will be destructible. Yeah. Profile did a similar thing too in their initial announcement that they were going to make micro voxels so that everything is destructible. Let's actually see if Witcher 4 comes through with it.
It's fully 3D. It is super fast to render. And these dense clusters of triangles turn into these cubes, which at a distance, they're no larger than a pixel, and they react to the changing light of our dynamic sun and our shadows, and they allow artists to render whatever amount of foliage is needed to achieve their vision.
So they're talking about LOD, so I wonder if this nanite stuff is only in places where you can't physically like get close to, because everybody is probably going to walk up to a tree and like stare at it at point blank and see if they can see the voxels. I got a feeling that this is just going to be areas that are a certain distance away rendered, and which is smart because you won't actually be able to see the voxels up close because you'll be far away.
And no compromise means how ambitious we are when it comes to bringing our vision to life.
Don't overdo it.
Visuals. But more than that, together with Epic, we created faster way to load the world. We can now bring in more content more quickly for the smoothest possible experience as we fly down to catch up with Siri. Welcome to
Looks good, man.
So VOXELS is a portal.
But, you know, this is only going to go so far. Everything looks good, but this is only going to go so far when you're playing the game. I mean, you're going to be impressed by the graphics for the first few hours, and then after that, it's going to be it's going to be an afterthought.
It's one of those places where you can meet shady characters.
In some cases, if you fight a big boss or something like that, and you know you're going to be marveling at his effects and graphics and all the post processing and particle effects and textures and all that stuff. When you first fight a boss, you're going to notice that stuff. But for me, I thought Witcher 3 looked pretty freaking good, but I still got bored. So only will go so far. But this is a tech demo showing us the technology, not the actual game. Remember that.
High-tech. Let's leave Kelpie here and explore the marketplace.
Yes.
I'm so excited we can finally show you some of this stuff. Let's see what VOXELS has to offer.
I'm sorry if I'm walking by and somebody spit on my feet, I'm gonna have words at least. Like, man, you didn't have to do that. Got the way. Got the way.
Guys, notice how responsive the world is.
Why does closed caption got to be spoilering?
Character actions directly affect what happens around you, sometimes even setting off chain reactions. Everything is working together.
So if I bump into that lady, she's gonna react? Is that what you're saying? That's some Assassin's Creed type stuff.
Being taught how to fly by an angry innkeeper.
Ooh.
That's what happens when you cheat at Gwen.
That mud effect looked pretty cool. Watch this guy here. Yeah, that was a nice little mud puddle effect.
That's what happens when you cheat at Gwen.
Last of it, is it? Ready to aim.
Okay, so this is the guy who gave the series quest his own. Like you probably suspect, he has his own agenda in all of this.
You're off your tits again, Wilfred. Get your ass up.
Zoom.
A typical day's toil.
Who in? Ah, Witcheress. What news of my wagons? No eternity is taking that damn salt to arrive.
I found them. And, well, suffice to say, they'll not reach you. As for the salt, I found not one speck. I presume this comes as no surprise to you.
Scandal skimmers!
Now. Kavir's smuggling trade is of no concern to me.
Shush, shush, shush.
The manticore that flattened your cart, Devoured your men? Quite the opposite.
Manticore? No, them winged hellspawn dwell in the arse end of Creighton, not here.
While Siri decides what to do about that merchant, let's take a look at the character technology that powers this marketplace.
Uh-huh.
Why don't we listen in on these fishmongers? They're selling their wares, chatting up customers.
Morning, catch this is. Won't find none fresher.
Rugged me ladies after one of them.
Course. Get this cleaned and gutted for you. You mind, dearest? Into seeing something more. Got mackerel, cod, all Braxton's finest.
And there is tons of tech to play here.
Okay.
Even in this simple market stall, MetaHuman
My camera froze again.
Unreal
And we're back.
objects, chaos cloth, and more.
Camera keeps freezing. Sorry about this.
All of this exists to make sure that the gap in quality between Siri and NPCs is as small as possible.
Yeah, and closing that gap, it's not just about fidelity, right, but also authenticity. They should react to changes in the world around them.
But the prisoner in pillory isn't exciting enough for Valdrest. Let's grab everyone's attention with a circus. But the great performance deserves a huge crowd though. Let's crank it up.
I was gonna say it's not that many people. How does it affect the frame rate though? I mean, y'all kind of phasing these people
you are
in.
seeing tons of optimizations here to many of Unreal systems, including an entirely new Unreal animation framework, allowing us to fit easily in our 60 FPS budget, not just in rendering, but also with room to spare on the game thread.
So we're
Over
stuck at 60?
300 animated
Even on PC?
skeletal mesh agents, all going about their business. And the whole point is to leave breathing room for developers
Because, I mean, we should be able to get over 60 on PC. So if you're 60 FPS budget, I'm a little bit worried about PC.
like you to introduce the gameplay and the systems that you're playing.
See, I never like games that develop for console first and then port to PC. They almost always suck. Almost, it's like very few exceptions in my experience. It's like you want to develop on PC, get it rock solid on PC, and then optimize for console. Those are the better games to me. Even though it's harder for them to do it, those games turn out to be better, in my opinion. When people go console first and then they port to PC is almost always a disaster.
Players expect, empowering you to make your worlds come to life without Unreal standing in your way.
You are right. That's the
And Witcher has
open-world RPG that
Witcher
works.
has a track record of really, really being bad on PC. I don't know if y'all played Witcher 1 and 2, but they were really... Witcher 1 probably is the one that I remember the most. It was one of the worst PC ports ever. Ever! When I'm talking about up there with Mass Effect, up there with Borderlands 1 PC ports, it was one of the worst ports. And Witcher 2 wasn't that much better. Witcher 3 was a big giant step in the right direction, but it still had issues too. That console first stuff, man, I don't like it.
But before we wrap up, how about one final check-in with Siri? We are making this game to be the most immersive and ambitious open-world Witcher game ever. And we are making this a reality thanks to our work on Unreal with the team at Epic. I think what we are doing together is going to bring in a new generation of open-world RPGs, and I'm so proud of what we accomplished so far.
We are too.
So we're almost done, but before we go, here's a small gift for all Witcher fans. A first look at Lanexeter.
These are desktops, man. these are desktop images. That's really beautiful.
Onward, Kelby. We've worked.
One thing's for sure, they have definitely nailed. One thing for sure that they have definitely nailed is that they definitely know how to make a beautiful looking game. Whether it runs well or not remains to be seen. The use of micro voxels and all that stuff, the nanite rendering stuff, should prove to make the canvases really, really nice to look at. And really, really nice to play with. But that's only one small aspect of the game. I know people are going to extrapolate from this presentation and make all these conclusions about how Witcher 4 is going to be the best game ever. No, they're just talking about the tech, the demo of the tech and Unreal 5. I'm hoping that we get a smooth experience. So from this, what I'm gleaning is we get a stable 60 FPS experience and hopefully one that looks decent and plays well and flows well. We don't want any crazy porting issues. So if they develop for PS5 and then they bring it over to PC, and then all of a sudden we get this weird, stupid stuff that we shouldn't be getting on PC, that's when I have issue. Witcher 4, man, the Unreal 5 tech demo. Check it out, chat. I'll put the link in the show description. You guys can judge for yourselves. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Take care. See you in the next video.